Standards don't count for anything if you lose elections.
So you're good with being the right.
I never said that's the only thing you can do. Having people that don't have to be nuked from an event because they disagree on a live means that you've become the right. That's the difference. It's Donald Trump, and the only thing that separates Donald Trump from a left-leaning organizer is whether or not that organizer takes accountability because they got screamed out on a live. Really? Do you really? Hold on. I want to hear you say that. Do you really believe that's the only difference? Santana, do you really believe that the only difference between Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump and people on the left is whether or not they can take accountability on a live? I want to hear you say that, yes or no.
This is the opportunity for you to apologize.
Okay, let's go.
And apologizing isn't about who's right or wrong. I do think that you were wrong to be up there. I do think that. Okay. What I'm saying is, if you are to be a person who is in a position of leadership, you're here to be productive. I really wanted to know, what is your plan for outreach tomorrow? Because it's not just white people and it's not just young white men who voted for Donald Trump. You're going to run across all different types of people. There are gay people who voted for Donald Trump. There are transgender people who voted for Donald Trump. There are disabled people who voted for Donald Trump. So how are you all planning to actually address these communities when you can't even have a simple conversation about an action that you took yourself? That people called out and said was wrong. You can't even take accountability for that. And you don't think that anything is wrong there. It's not just about getting votes. It's not just about that, Z. And I've been trying to tell you that.
Then what is it about? If it's not about getting votes, what is it about?
You're not gonna. Okay, let me make this clear. You're not going to be able to change people's minds if you're not able to relate to them. That is the main thing that you're able to do. Is to
yeah, this is relatable.
You think that you're being relatable?
So what you guys want to do is be antagonistic? Is that what y'all want to do? Y'all want to be hostile? Because literally, I told you that I came here to have a productive conversation.
Apologies.
I literally came here and said I came to have a productive conversation. Why do your sentences keep meeting mine, Clarkson? Like, are you okay? Is everything okay at home?
It's literally just the white fragility. Clarkson, you been
No.
It's not about you seeing a person of color. It's your white fragility. Like, you can't embrace anything that anyone is saying. Literally, they're trying to have a conversation with you, but you're so locked in on being a condescending asshole that you won't even let anyone speak because you have a problem.
No, it has.
Excuse me, guys. This
has nothing to do with your skin color.
The Santana guy is a little bit problematic. He keeps bringing people's race up for no reason. It's really weirding me out. Can we not have him? He's racist, please? Thank you.
You are absolutely irrelevant in this conversation. No one knows you.
You just got in here.
Slap nuts.
You are.
Yeah, I know you don't. Don't worry about it, Clarkson. Good.
Right. So then
I'm just figuring out who you are.
You don't matter much.
Yeah. Oh, Z, do I not matter?
I never said you didn't. I said based on your topic
before, but I don't think that like everybody should know you as this like.
But my point is, do I have more of a point in this conversation than whoever the guy was? That's it.
I mean, I don't know who that person is.
Perfect.
But you were on one tour stop, so I'm not sure like what.
There's only been one. Yeah, we acting like there's been more. Like, come on, Z. And stop acting like the darn on tour stop was the tour, I used quotation marks whenever I said, was derailed simply because we decided that we didn't want to be a part whatever it is you had organized. That's not the reason, Z. That's not it. It was because you didn't take accountability, and that's all that people were asking for, Z. That's it. And again, I'm going to say this for probably the 5th time. I came here to have a productive conversation because I've been in the groups, I've been in the circles where people are simply just wanting to know, how are you going to talk to different people? How are you going to talk to people that aren't white? That's it. How are you going to talk to those people when you all can't even listen to what it is that we have to say? You take everything that we say as an offense to you and you get defensive. You're always on defense, Z. Open your mind and also open your heart so that you can actually have these conversations. That's all that I am asking for.
Wait, when you say we, who is we?
When I say we,
yeah.
When I say that's all we're asking for,
yeah.
Or you. We as in black people, as in the people that I've spoken to.
Okay, but weren't there other black people that were involved in this actual event? Why are you speaking for all of them?
One is here. Another one is here. James could have been a part of it.
Yeah, but I just don't understand why you're like the...
All of the black creators that were a part of the tour.
Have you?
You know what's funny about that comment?
No, I have not spoken to every single person in the world. I have not, no.
And so if we actually start to speak, then we are in a line with something that the other people are saying. So yes, Erica's had this conversation with multiple Black creators, including the actual Black women on the panel that, you know, where this whole thing started with Z.
Well, so the Black panel women were not women that were involved with the event, though, right?
Again, I said including those Black women that were on the panel with Z. This started this whole situation. I didn't say they were part of the tour. I said including.
Follow along, Buttercup.
No, I got it. Please don't black explain what that means. Thank you. I can understand, even though my white brain is very slow. Okay, I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best here. When you say that Z needs to take accountability, what does that mean?
How was that black explaining?
Yes. What? I'm sorry, black explain?
Why did you assume that I didn't know what "in addition to" meant?
Because he said including, and you said that they weren't a part of the tour.
Do you think it's more likely that I just didn't hear that because multiple people are talking, or do you think I don't know what "in including" means?
Sorry, simple English.
This is just
silly.
a statement to derail it. How about we actually?
How? Excuse me. Hold on. I'm sorry. Wait. Do you think I don't know what "in addition to" means? Do you think I don't know what "in addition to" means?
Would it be white explaining if Anne made the same?
I'm not sure if you know what including means.
You don't. So you legitimately don't know if I know what "including" means, really? And this is a productive conversation? If you want to be snarky, that's fine, but just don't be upset when other people are snarky back to you.
We're getting into semantics. How about we actually have this conversation instead of getting into semantics?
Sure. What is taking accountability supposed to look like in the case for Z before the event explodes?
Taking accountability and addressing the actual concerns that members a part of the tour and observing the tour had with it.
You just said nothing. I'm asking you, what does taking accountability mean? And you said taking accountability.
You said before the tour happened.
No, before it exploded. Before it exploded.
What those concerns were, how those concerns would be alleviated, and what specific steps would be taken to alleviate them.
Okay, my understanding is, you can tell me if I'm wrong, my understanding is that these concerns were made public by a group of women on a TikTok live before they were ever expressed privately to anybody with the event. Is that true or is that not true?
That's false.
Okay, so can you tell me specifically? Wait. This is so easy. This is a question of.
You know what's funny, and I'll give you a bit of a pass, bud, because I watched Z come on your live stream and speak to you live and completely mischaracterize everything that happened. She lied, she obfuscated, and she did not tell you everything that happened. So if you have only gotten this information from her and what you've been able to piece together, you don't know what exactly happened, and I'll give you a pass for that because she didn't tell you the full truth while speaking directly to you.
Okay, so tell me, wait. So that's so easy. If it's a factual disagreement, then just tell me, what were the claims that were brought up privately or expressed privately before that TikTok live that weren't being addressed?
One being security, another one being the lack of representation when it came to different demographics that were on this tour. 3 being the strategic behind it, and if people would be compensated for their work, would be compensated for their travel, amongst other things.
So when you say that these concerns weren't addressed, are you saying that they weren't expressed, that they weren't addressed to your satisfaction, or that the person just didn't agree with you when you brought them up?
These would be, that would be a question for those individuals that raised those questions. But those, to my knowledge, are the concerns that the people had.
Sure, but you understand that just simply having a concern doesn't mean that your concern is correct. It could be that you bring up a concern and that concern is addressed, and you might just have a disagreement with the organizer about how to address that concern, right?
I understand that, and those answers that Z or whomever provided would be adequate given the person who asked those questions. I didn't ask those questions, though.
Wait, so then if her responses were adequate, then that means that these concerns were addressed. The people just weren't happy with the answer?
Again, that would depend on who raised those concerns. If Erica's specific concerns were not addressed or were not answered to, that would be within her answer.
Sure.
Same would be for
Okay.
Santana.
Sure. So I'm just trying to focus on one thing at a time.
Because I didn't raise that.
Sure. Was Erica part of the event or just part of that TikTok live?
Yes. I mean, you followed the event pretty extensively, have you not?
No, there's a lot of new names that I just don't recognize.
Okay. Well, you should know Erica. She was a part of that tour. So was Santana.
Cool. So, Erica, what was a concern that you brought up that you felt like hadn't been addressed privately?
A concern that I had, and I was told that I would get a phone call from Z, is in regards to the live that she went on, where I felt that she needed to apologize to those young women. Because I did tell her in a signal chat when she went on that live, I said, you need to change your tone. You're being very hostile right now.
I'm sorry, hold on. Let me rephrase.
You asked the question earlier. I'm not finished. You asked the question earlier, what does accountability look like?
Wait, no, we're not doing the accountability thing. I'm just trying to factually. So my question was, wait. I had a very simple question.
Respectfully, you didn't interrupt me.
Because I literally...
Don't roll your eyes surprised at that.
Well, my question was what concerns were brought up privately prior to the live? You're bringing up concerns that happened after the live. My question was, what concerns were brought up prior to the live that you felt like weren't adequately addressed?
Prior to the live?
Yes.
You mean the live that Z joined?
Yes.
Maybe I wouldn't have anything to do with that because that was literally the same day that I joined the Signal chat. That was literally the same day that I joined.
Wait, so then you weren't part of this tour event.
So, again, I'm sorry?
So you weren't part of the touring event, were you?
Are you not listening?
Santana and Erica were both a part of the event.
Okay, let me restart.
What Destiny's asking, he's asking what were the concerns that were pushed through before the tour even happened, before my
I
live?
can't say geek because I wasn't a part of that. I wasn't a part of that part of the conversation. I only know what happened basically as the live went on and afterwards. And in regards to concerns, those were for like yourself, geek, along with the women on the panel, and for other people. I can say that.
Yeah.
In regards to accountability, what accountability looks like, all right, and what it is, for the person who has taken accountability, Destiny, is for them recognizing, acknowledging the person's feelings, letting them know that they hear you, and then also mapping out for that person what they want to do and how they're going to go about changing. Because accountability, again, is changed behavior. I hope
Okay.
that answers your question.
Sure, I can kind of agree with that. Was there any accountability for the women on the live that were publicly airing their grievances and then being incredibly aggressive and rude to the organizers?
Well, I think
Just to clarify,
wait, hold on. I think
was
Ooh, that sounded like a long way of saying no. Okay. Okay.
It was.
I just didn't hear
It's-
it. Sorry.
Yeah, it's directed towards Geek, but Geek, before you answer that, quick question, Destiny. Do you think the burden of responsibility is placed on people who are on a TikTok live randomly having a conversation, or an event organizer who is trying to put together what is being called a movement and leading an actual group of people to unfuck America? Like, who has more of a burden and responsibility, a random people on a TikTok live or an actual organizer who is putting together a multi-level event?
It doesn't have to be an either or. Everybody can have responsibility for how they behave in a given environment.
It's more the responsibility lie, Destiny.
It depends on the situation. It depends on the scenario. I would say that the responsibility lies on people not starting a live and then trashing an event. I would say you don't have to do that. It's nothing to do with the organizer, but
I know
Respectfully,
you're
why
big on
isn't
YouTube
Z
and all
having
the
this
places,
conversation?
But
Because
we're
she
talking
never has
about the difference
conversations.
between someone on TikTok, right? Someone and where there's random people on TikTok all the time hosting lives. I mean, I was there. Geek had 62 people. Again, Z was
Originally, yeah.
responsible. Yeah, Z was responsible for some of the biggest names. Not you, right? I mean, you weren't involved, but some of the biggest names on the left that's on TikTok. And she decided to make a decision, and she made a decision to actually join that conversation and then escalate the conversation. So I personally feel like the burden of responsibility lied on her, not on the random TikTok creators who had 62 people in the live before it started.
sure. But let's say
Z as though she's not here. She's very much present.
Sure,
in this room.
that's fine.
That she should be facilitating these questions and should not be relying on Destiny, as fun as you are with one another, and having this conversation.
cool. Why can't wait real quick? Why I don't understand. Why can't the
Speak for
why,
herself.
why can't the
Speak for her.
I can speak for myself. Thank you. The question is
Okay.
yeah, thank you. Okay. So the question is, why can't the response to her joining the live, why can't the response just be, oh, hey, you shouldn't have done that. Like, it didn't go well. Why can't that be the response? Why does it have to be this massive, World War III tier?
That was the response.
It absolutely was not. There were racist remarks made by the people on the live. It obviously exploded out into a huge thing that caused multiple content creators to drop from the event. That clearly was not the response.
Wait, hold on. Some misinformation. Nobody dropped after the event. My live happened on the 18th. The tour, the first event happened on the 22nd. Nobody dropped out. My live didn't create any type of like I said, attraction originally. And
People dropped out afterwards as a result of the live.
Video. So I'm just correcting the misinformation just a little bit there. Nobody dropped out until after the fact, days after the tour, and that necessarily didn't have anything to do with me. I believe that more had to do with the fact that the people on that tour felt like that was the best thing to do. I don't like for me or any of the other creators, whether you're calling us messy or not, to be pushed to blame on that, which that was not anything that we did. Let's break something down. First and foremost, nobody asked within on that panel. Destiny, I know you watched it. Nobody asked on that panel for anybody for Z to step down from her own organization. That was never the case, okay? That happened after the fact. That happened after the first tour. Just to clarify.
Yeah, but it happened because of events that happened on the live, correct?
Right?
Didn't it happen because of events that happened on the live?
I'm sorry, you're talking while I'm talking.
Yeah, because you're saying things that are incorrect and then you want to build off it. But didn't people drop? That's why I'm asking a question. Didn't people drop off of the event because of what happened on the live prior to the event?
Oh, yes.
Thank you. So then it was related.
That you were saying they dropped before the tour even happened.
No, they didn't, but they dropped afterwards, but they said they should have dropped before. They did make that statement. They said that if I would have known the totality of what had happened, they said, well, they shouldn't have even gone to the event, right?
Okay, so, yeah, sure. I mean, ultimately, I still don't think, let's be honest, Stephen. Or I'm sorry, do you go by Destiny or Stephen? I'm looking at your name, I want to make sure.
Stephen is fine, sure.
Okay. So first and foremost, I mean, yeah, that could be the case that they dropped because of my life. I'm sure that's mostly the reason why. I'm not going to deny that, right? But my issue is that we, the women, the women on that live, are getting blamed for like the way like this all happened. Nobody asked Z to come up. I mean, or at least, I'm sorry, let me correct myself. Nobody forced Z to come up on my live, to be fair, right? We were perfectly fine with talking to just the people that were just going to be on that tour, not the lead organization. We had decent conversations. We all got different answers from these people. It was still disorganized, right? Just based off the way that, you know, they were getting all different answers from like different questions that we had for them. Let me correct that really quickly. And second of all, in regards to the quote unquote, the aggression that you're saying that was put on my live, I would say that was like kind of built up when we're specifically talking to Z, right? I don't know about you, Stephen, but I've seen you go after people that completely deny the work that you've done. Because I used to watch you quite a bit, and when I was a little bit younger, I've seen you snap at people after they consistently deny who you are. So I'm not understanding why you are like, you're the type of person to call somebody flat out an R word, you know?
You mean R slur?
Blah, blah, blah. Crazy shit, right? After that, but you're upset that one person, by the way, one racial comment saying lipless, assless, white, kuncho kitchen, like you're upset about that. I think that's...
So to be clear, I'm not upset about that. What I'm saying is I don't understand how this entire event got nuked as a result of the live. If somebody were to get upset as a result of things that were said, or they felt like Z didn't handle it a perfect way, that's fine. Or if she could have done something, can I please respond real quick? Can I please respond real quick? Listen, I talk quickly, I can respond fast, I can't respond. Okay.
Yeah, no one can hear you. Like you're talking to your phone and we can't hear you.
Yeah, because you started talking right after.
I hear you. Yeah. Hey, so you would say that like you don't understand how this whole thing got nuked. Would it have been something that would have been avoidable even if Z was on the panel? And Z, I would love to hear you actually come off mute and speak for yourself instead of having people defend you. Weird. Anyway, but wouldn't it have...
Were you part of the original live? Why are you defending them? What do you...
You just speak over me.
Yeah.
So,
wouldn't it have been beneficial if, while Z was up on the panel, she had someone that had direct insight to not only, the whole black dysphoria, but just understanding what was happening on this TikTok live? If she had someone adamantly begging her to stop the conversation and get off of the live, like that could have saved these before it escalated to that point, right?
Maybe, but it doesn't need to escalate to that point, right? You could just there's no reason for this to have gotten as big as it did. I just think it's incredibly silly.
To clarify, I don't think anybody would be denying that. I'm actually surprised that everything blew out the way that it did, right? What we all asked, right? So there's two things about this. Originally, all we were asking is hey, we thought that was a little bit inappropriate, right? That was originally what we were saying. We weren't asking anybody to step down or any creators to get off the fucking tour, right? That would be stupid because we still believed, if you guys did watch my live, we still believed that this movement could be a perfect opportunity for us to get pushed out there, right?
I think when you guys are saying that the organizer is racist, that there wasn't enough representation, when that one Jaden guy made videos saying that black creators weren't being paid, I feel like it's very dishonest to say, oh, nobody was saying that somebody had to step down. It seems like after that live, the goal became for a bunch of people outside.
What other people said. Now, because
it's all part of a big thing, yeah.
I don't know if you watched my live, Stephen. I unfortunately don't know, but let me make this clear. Me and a few others on that panel after we were saying we don't care. Oh, I hate to say this. We didn't care about the representation. Like, we actively said that over and over again. We said, hey, if anything, we said the representation might cause harm, which is why security even got brought up. That's the main reason why security even brought up, because we were like, we fear for the Black creators that are going on this tour, considering the fact that this is going to be in one of the most extreme conservative universities that exist on America, right? We actively said, like, hey, like, we're not necessarily comfortable with that. We also, now there was people on my panel that disagreed, right? If y'all listened to the fucking live, you would see that we were actively even disagreeing with each other with our own critiques of the tour, right? The reason why it even started to like pop off is because other creators that were going on the tour started to even come on my live, right? There's so much misinformation out there that I feel like, not necessarily you, Destiny, because once again, I understand that you reached out to Z and she told you however she felt about it. It is what it is.
Well, just to be clear, I think I watched like 3 hours of your guys' content, like the live and everything else before.
Okay, so if you did watch it, then you would know that I'm telling the truth.
I mean, I saw a bunch of people getting really, really, really mad when she joined, and then it seemed like from there, everything kind of snowballed out of control.
To be fair, no. Let's clarify. She came up on my panel, Steve, and then she immediately was starting to speak like when I was trying to like actually calm down the panel, right? So, you
might have been, but other people were being pretty provocative. No, people were starting to shout at each other.
That's exactly
what escalated that though.
One second, Santana. That's exactly why I was trying to calm down the panel. As the host, I feel like I needed to do that. She came on and was provoking it even more by interrupting when I'm trying to tell people to calm down and like stop over speaking each other, that it was overstimulating.
I don't think the issue was just over speaking. And also on a TikTok live with like 9 people.
The thing about all of this is, yes, Geek, you were keeping it very civil. I watched the whole thing. And Destiny, again, I'm not necessarily blaming you because for some reason Z has put you and also this Ann person and also Clarkson as a shield in front of her. Mercedes was doing it before, but Mercedes seems like has taken too much of a bit of heat and has pulled back. So the thing is, Geek was actually keeping it really cool. Hey Z, come off mute. I got a question for you. Z, while Hannah,
hold on. Do you guys want me to play a portion of the live? Because this idea that
no. I have a quick question for it.
1 second. Because before the live even started, the introduction to Z was, I will let you speak, or you will speak when I let you. Like, to think that this live came at it from a position.
Wait a second. I said that. But let me clarify. You played, so last time we had this conversation about 2 weeks ago, to be fair, Mercedes. So you watched the full thing. Okay, yeah. If you're going to play it, how about you play like the 15 minutes before she even actually speaks? So the first thing that she says...
I muted my mic, bro. My brain is rotting. This is like the least shit I've ever cared about in my entire fucking life. Oh, God.
Being sarcastic and condescending. Okay, so all I say is yo, calm down. I don't appreciate the fact that you said that, especially when considering that I'm like trying to talk to the panel.
The first thing that was said about her before she even paneled, like she was paneled up, she had not spoken at any point yet. The first thing that was said was, you made a joke saying she can speak when I let her.
She was actually already on the panel. Well,
she had already spoke before that.
She was already on the panel.
No, hold on. He had already spoke before that. Z, come off of mute. Z, did you send a message to one of the people that was on the panel, specifically Hannah, telling her to make a comment that actually elevated the actual live? Did you tell her to bring up a traumatic...
Okay, wait, hold on. But this is all... I don't know why we're litigating every tiny issue. I'm just curious. Do we agree... Wait. Do we agree that it was good that this... Do we agree... Respectfully, no one cares, to be honest. Like, literally, nobody cares about every single micro issue that you guys are bringing up. The question is on a macro level... On a macro level... Did you text somebody on January 2nd and send them a mean text message and say these 4 words?
Yes or no?
Shut the fuck up.
Yes, true. Santana, shut the fuck up. Why? Okay, was this event worth being nuked? Was this... Oh, you're talking to yourself? Then you should mute your mic. Why do you think it was worth it that the entire event... Was it worth it that the entire event was nuked over this issue?
Guys, if you keep talking over...
That's fine. I have the loudest microphone anyways. Can you please respond to Santana?
No, I'm gonna let Destiny speak now.
Why can't you?
Speak for you.
I'm not speaking for anybody. Excuse me, that was a very misogynistic comment, Jaden Cross. Okay, yes, it was very misogynistic. It was very misogynistic. If she said it, then she had internalized misogyny, and she needs to deconstruct her internalized misogyny. I'm not here to speak for anybody. Okay, I have some investment in the success of these events. Why do you keep talking over me, Jaden? Do you need to go to an audiologist and get your ears checked?
You haven't spoken to any of the black individuals as part of the organization.
Yes.
Yet you seem to be in a.
I'm listening. I'm learning and listening. I'm just learning and listening right now. I'm just asking questions. Was it worth it? Is this how all of these go? You just bring on a ton of people and you just like scream over people the entire time? Is that? Yeah, but nobody cares. The result of the question doesn't matter.
Can you just mute them?
Like,
I think it is fair.
excuse me, as a Christian, that was offensive to me. That felt like there was a microaggression. Okay.
This is so unproductive.
How about we let these speak?
It is unproductive. Yeah, I agree.
Why are you here? Exactly. Why are you here, Destiny?
Because I care about these events failing for dumb reasons. I feel like these people eat themselves alive for no reason. I don't know why.
Absolutely
Wait,
don't.
hold on, but that's the issue, Stephen. You keep on asking us, and we keep on hearing, and I feel like
I haven't asked you anything because you've interrupted me along with Santana every single time I try to talk. I can barely get a word out.
Well, wait, hold on. Let's not put me in there, to be fair.
No, I am putting you in there.
Very fair. Come on. Let's not. Come on, Stephen. I've been here. Come on. Let's not do
Scary
that.
when white men raise their voice. So calm down.
And Hannah, like,
I'm just. All I was trying to tell you is.
Wait, are you capable of like looking at anything in the world without using like the lens of like?
nobody can have a conversation when
It's
you're
fine.
talking.
See, ask your
Okay,
question
so
then.
hold on, bro, please, everyone, please. Z, you have the floor.
Okay, I want Stephen to finish what he was saying. Because he's been trying to
That's
respond to
exactly
you,
what
and
I'm
then I
talking
can
about.
respond.
Exactly what I'm talking about. You guys need to deconstruct your haterade, okay?
Santana asked the question, and then Stephen was like, wait, no, hold on. So, I don't.
Okay, does everybody here think it was worth it that this whole event got self-destructed over the resulting event spawning from that live and the reactions to it? Was that worth it? Was it a good thing that event got entirely?
Yes.
Okay, why?
Would you like to know why? Sure. The reason why it was worth it is because this entire event was put together on dead ground that had no actual footing, because from the very beginning, the point of the Democratic Party is having multiple people under one umbrella. That's our strength, right? Leaning into progressive things. When you have someone who is leading not only a quote-unquote movement, but a group of people who does not have the ability to, one, not make decisions like hop on a TikTok live and completely derail the event that's happening, and two, can't take accountability, and three, for some reason can't properly communicate what's happening to the people that she is directly quote-unquote responsible for, and then four, goes out and shits on so many people afterwards. Like, what are we talking about? So yeah, the actual overall premise of the the tour, I still think the premise as far as counter programming is a good thing. That tour specifically, no, it needs to burn in hell.
Okay, so the reason why, so hold on. So if you have a disagreement on a live as an organizer, and then you get super attacked by everybody from it, and you disagree with how that live went, then that's grounds for destroying an entire tour. I'm just as a curious question. Can you think of a single right-wing tour or a single right-wing movement that has been deconstructed over something even remotely similar to this? I'm just curious.
No, because they don't hold the same morals, values, or standards as the left. Do we want to be like the right? Are we okay with leaning into conspiracy theories?
Who's talking about conspiracy theories? Do you know what I want to be like? Well, hold on. When we talk about do we want to be like the right, I didn't say we don't have to be the right. We want to organize like the right, though, right?
We have more morals and standards than the people on the right.
Morals don't count for anything if you can't enforce them.
And standards.
Standards don't count for anything if you lose elections.
So you're good with being the right.
I never said that's the only thing you can do. Having people that don't have to be nuked from an event because they disagree on a live means that you've become the right. That's the difference. It's Donald Trump, and the only thing that separates Donald Trump from a left-leaning organizer is whether or not that organizer takes accountability because they got screamed at on a live? Really? Do you really? Hold on. I want to hear you say that. Do you really believe that's the only difference? Santana, do you really believe that the only difference between Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump and people on the left is whether or not they can take accountability on a live? I want to hear you say that, yes or no.
Muting Santana.
Why are you muting?
It's weird that Bessie and I are going back and forth. Why do you keep muting me?
You guys gotta talk about interrupting, and Santana, you keep interrupting.
Hold that same standard for Destiny.
You had to mute him one time, and to be fair, we've been talking over each other. Like, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it's whatever.
Just
But to answer answer your question specifically.
It's okay. She's a little hypocritical. It's fine now.
Just work on the lack of interrupting, because what happens is when you guys start interrupting, someone else's mic just completely cuts out, and you can't even hear the conversation. So like the audience is just listening for one side, because depending on whose mic decides to cut out, it's not.
That's really what I was gonna say. Thank you.
You were going to say something? That'd be a first.
Jaden, I talked to you for the first 45 minutes of this live. What are you talking about?
Oh, boo. I just wanted to ask Stephen Gill. Well, first and foremost, I actually wanted to address Stephen's question that I feel like I already answered. You asked us earlier, and you did ask me directly as well, if it was worth it. Like Santana already answered. I'm going to say that I don't think I think it's worth for things to be exposed, yeah. But yeah, I still wish that the tour went on. As a matter of fact, I think I made multiple videos. I think I even consistently went live. I went live during the tour event, was like literally saying, I hope that this, is successful. And I can quite really, I'm pretty sure I actually posted the video, right? Like the live on my YouTube, to be fair.
Sure.
There's just two things about it. Like, I think two things can be true at once. Like, did I wish, or did anybody wish that this was like, that it blew up the way that it did? Not necessarily, right? But I do think that you would also say that we as the progressive, because I don't know who's a liberal, who's a leftist or not, or a Democrat here, the progressive should still hold each other accountable. And like I said, we within the panel we're not trying to demote Z from her position or anything. We within that panel weren't really asking for anything. We didn't expect shit from Marlive, to be blunt with you. We quite really didn't. The people on that tour decided to do what they did, right?
Sure. Okay. So my question is, when you say that it was worth it for things to be exposed, I'm just curious, on a scale from like 1 to 10, where 10 is somebody actually lynches somebody and 1 is like somebody calls somebody a big meanie, how bad was everything that happened? Like when you say we exposed bad behavior, like where on the scale from 1 to 10 are we rating this?
Well, I think that it should be, I don't think I should be rating it, right? Because if you were to like say something inappropriate right now, I probably would call you out quite literally in this moment. Now, do I wish for you to be deplatformed and demoted from your position? Not necessarily. I didn't necessarily wish for, once again, Z to be deplatformed or demoted from her position. What I wanted was, or what we were at least hoping was, just to clarify, not wanting, because I don't think I really cared to that point until after the fact. What we were expecting is for her to at least, I guess, be a leader and like be like, hey, yo, what happened was inappropriate. It was fucked up.
Sure, I understand that, but okay, so I'm gonna ask again, on a scale from 1 to 10, how bad was what got exposed?
Acceptable?
Yes.
How much racism is acceptable?
Yes. Yep. That's my question, Santana. How much racism is acceptable?
Is acceptable.
What?
Destiny, none. No racism.
Okay, Santana, is there a single white person that has no racism?
There are white people that are actively deconstruction.
You notice how you didn't answer my question? Santana, is there a single white person who has no racism?
Racism and acceptability, no.
Santana, I'm going to ask you again. Is there a single white person with no racism?
No.
Okay, then you just said that no racism is acceptable. So that means you're creating a movement, literally, that is racially segregated. No white people can be a part of the movement?
After that, Destiny?
You said that there are white people that are actively deconstructing their racism, which implies that there are no white people that aren't racist. So you're saying that your movement has no room for white people.
Yeah, that's not what was said.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's re-ask the questions. I'm sorry. You said that no racism was acceptable, correct? And then you said that no white person has no racism, correct? So tell me how does this syllogism not work? Tell me.
He's muted again.
Ask me a question.
Why do you keep up? What is going on?
If you can,
Mercedes, stop being fragile. You're being sensitive, Mercedes. Stop.
Everybody's being
Stephen's
fragile.
over-talking him as well, to be fair.
No. You can respond and comment, that's fine, but just like stop interrupting in the process of him asking you.
Sorry.
Those of us want to hear what he has to say. We can't hear what he's even saying.
How about he put on like headphones or something?
You're doing it to me right now. We can't hear the premise of his question when you won't stop. Just like let him finish his question and then you respond, and vice versa, whatever. Just like stop interrupting. It's not that hard.
Is it the same for him as well, to be fair, Mercedes? Yeah. Because let's be honest, he has been interrupting multiple times as well. I feel like that is sometimes the flow of the conversation. It's a little heated. Stephen, Destiny, aka Destiny, he's admitted that he's been interrupting. I'm not understanding.
I see Destiny ask questions, and then in the middle of him asking the question, he keeps getting interrupted.
10 minutes ago.
Doing the same thing.
Just from watching and sitting back, Santana is doing 80% of the interrupting.
10 minutes ago, you muted Santana for asking Z a question, and then Stephen Lilly jumped in and interrupted and consistently went back and forth with him.
Wait, you guys aren't going to be able to hear any of this at all now. What? How does this work, guys?
Sarah.
Yeah, my point's made. Thank you.
What happened? What's going on?
Some order. If you can't, like Erica had no reason to interject there. The question was between Z and Erica, and then Z and I think it was Santana, and then Erica starts interjecting, and then like Santana asks Z a question, doesn't let Z finish the question in the middle of asking. You guys need to, I don't know where the respect is just
Can I be honest with you, host? Can I be honest with you, though?
What is the blue? What's the little blue thing next to our names? Like, those are like coins or whatever?
You're funny as hell, Fart. Not really. Anyways, no, not a microaggression. The fact I was going to be honest with Mercedes and say, do you not realize that you're being hypocritical right now? The amount of times that, let's be honest, we have quietly all been interrupting each other, right? Destiny's been doing it. Like, this is just debate space. Now, I do understand it can be overstimulating, but you're being hypocritical and you're not being fair because all you've been doing, right, is muting and kicking the other individuals instead of Destiny. I understand he's like a big ass creator. I get it, right? But come on, you have to be fair. You have to.
Actually trying to respond in like debate. Like I've seen Destiny debate, and I'm gonna tell you, like he is pretty good at letting the other person speaking, addressing the point. But for example,
1v1 though, to be fair, it's completely different.
Right now,
it's completely different.
Hold on. When Destiny was asking the question to Santana, and then I said, "Hey, let's stop interrupting." Then Santana is like, "Oh, let me just dump that question out the window and start talking to Z," and never even addressed Destiny's question. And this keeps happening. So yes, I am going to mute or drop the people who don't want to have a productive conversation. And I don't know if it's like just the TikTok debate style.
No, it's yeah.
You're doing it again. Where you just braid and braid and braid.
I was just answering the question. My bad.
But it's not productive.
Well, yeah, and I like sure, like the way that Destiny talks to people typically, like when he's having genuine debates is 1v1, right? Or if he's like hosting it, he's really a fairly good moderate, sure, right? But realistically, this happens when it's a panel of 8 people. Everybody has their own opinion. Everybody wants to speak and everything. So I'm just saying, I think it was a little unfair, Mercedes, for you to kick the 3 black people. Yeah, I'm making it about race. I'm making it about race. Yeah, you clocked it. You clocked it, Clarkson. You clocked it.
Oh my God.
No, I wasn't calling you racist. I was just saying I think it's interesting. Whoa, did I call you racist?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
You insinuated.
Did I just call it? No. I said I think it's funny how you have not been, the one person that he has also been interrupting, have not muted him or called him out once, but you did it to the 3 other black creators. That's all I'm saying. Am I lying by saying that?
No, I don't think you're lying.
Why are we pretending? What does that mean? I think it's funny. What?
If that is the case, why are you
say something?
I don't get that. Like, what is the deal?
Hello.
Okay,
I'm going to clarify it for you. It had nothing to do with skin color. I think the problem with your argument is that you're operating under the assumption that Destiny was interrupting way more than the other creators she muted. And I think that you might
I didn't say that.
Well, in order for it to be fair and for you to expect Mercedes to give Destiny the same treatment as them, you would be operating under the assumption that he was interrupting as much as them, and he wasn't. Just as somebody who's watching this, I don't even know this drama, okay? I just want to go on the tour, I want to talk about how I'm no longer MAGA, but from what I watched, I barely heard a word Destiny said because the 3 people she muted were talking the whole time and had the loudest mics. So that's like the no race involved, clear-cut explanation as to why she was muting people. I don't think we have to turn this into a
You know what? Sure. Let's go ahead and dismiss the black, like them being black. I still will find you to be hypocritical. That's
Okay, well, I just think it's funny that the black community, okay, has a lot of issues related to homophobia, and as the only bisexual person in here, I feel like I'm getting spoken over a lot by black creators, so, you know, I just want to say it's a thing that's happening a lot. It makes me feel really uncomfortable.
Why is he? Can you mute him? Because he's interrupting her now.
Come on now.
I love you guys. I love you so much, okay? True. True. I love you all so much.
If we're
Okay, I can't. I'm gonna kill myself. I have to say here. Bro, the geek girl, she's like the queen yapper. Oh my God. She'll like find a sentence and take like 20 minutes to say it. It's like, oh my God. And then she's like, don't interrupt me. So anyway, yesterday, I went outdoors to walk my dog, and we were walking in the park, and there was a park, and it's a dog park, and I was walking my dog and had my leash. You know, we went yesterday, and it was yesterday, the day before today, and I was at the park, and I was walking my dog, and then we were at the, I went to the dog park, and we were walking, and then my dog saw another dog, and he bit the dog, and it was crazy when we were at this dog park. This time when we were at the dog park yesterday while I was walking my dog, I usually go every Saturday. I was walking my dog at this dog park, and then he bit this dog, and it's like, oh my God. Jesus. Okay. Is she still talking, by the way? Okay, in 2 more days, I will have the ability to do this from my desktop as well, so my mic and everything, you'll be able to hear better, and it's not going to come through my... They're saying you have black fatigue in the chat. I'm fucking crying. Yes, I did not deconstruct enough today in order to deal with this much of my own white racism. It was such an easy line of questioning. The guy's like, are you asking me how much racism is acceptable? Yes, I am. The answer is none. Oh, well, as a master wokey myself, let me ask you, are there any white people that aren't racist? And he's like, oh shit. He's like, fuck, I think all white people are racist. I just fucked myself. Oh my God. You just need to host yourself instead? Yeah, maybe. Tomorrow. Or no, 2 days I'll be able to do this. Oh my God, I'm so tired. And hungry and grumpy. Okay, I love you guys. It's been fun. Stay safe. Be careful. I am fatigued. Just not of black people. But of women. Just kidding. Well, not really, actually. All right, stay safe. I'll be back tomorrow. Will I be back tomorrow? I should. I need to stop going live late. I'll figure it out. Rebriano, cappuccino, 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 my duderins. I will catch you guys next. Streaming now. Be careful. Oh, also, somebody should do the time counter. I get real tired of being in these things, and people are like, oh my God, Destiny interrupts so much. And every time I do the time counter at the end, they've talked for like 5 times longer than I have. I feel like I couldn't even finish a question with the Santano and the Jaden person. Jesus. Okay. I love you guys. Be careful. Rip. You better bring back the suit tomorrow? Fuck you.